cause I did it my way, none of y'all can say. In this life for the next one, watch me, I'ma be the best. I am what I am today, cause I did it my way, none of y'all.
Welcome back to The Deal. I'm Danny Brown. We have a Labor Day special, holiday special show for you. We are releasing James Farrior, NFL Steelers legend, two-time Pro Bowl, two-time Super Bowl champion. Man, this guy's unbelievable. He's such an articulate, warm, kind soul, yet he was one of the most ferocious human beings on the planet. To play middle linebacker in the NFL, you have to be the toughest person on the planet, period. And to now see James in his post-career life as a father, as a Mr. Dad, carpool, that's all he's about right now. It's just a beautiful thing. So this is really, really a fun conversation with my buddy James. Life after football and how he went from being the toughest guy on the planet to being the nicest dad on the planet. So you guys are going to like this. It's a lot of fun. Talk to you soon. Welcome to The Deal. How you been?
Glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So before we get started, University of Virginia, you grew up in Virginia. You went to University of Virginia. Pretty big hoops when you guys won the national championship.
What a year, man. It was a tough year going back to last year in the Nationals, the tournament, and getting knocked out in the first round, being the first seed to ever lose to a 16 seed.
They say that was the greatest upset in the tournament history.
Yeah,
pretty close to it.
I think it was. It has to be.
University
it has to
of
be.
Maryland, Baltimore County.
Yeah,
was the 16th seed, and Virginia came in ranked 1 overall.
Yeah, they were the number 1 overall seed for the tournament. They were the number 1 team in the country the whole season.
Right,
and
the favorite.
Yeah. I mean, of course they were the favorite.
They collapsed.
So yeah, that was brutal.
A year later, things have changed.
Just made this year that much more sweeter. I mean, you write these stories in Hollywood about, teams that go through this and, having to come back through that and the adversity that.
Yeah.
And then being down 14 in the first game.
Right.
Again.
Like, here we go again.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Oh, man.
Were you just so nervous at that
disgusted.
point?
I was sick.
You were just going to turn off the TV?
Yeah, I turned it off. I said, I'm not watching the tournament.
I mean, I don't know. Could you have survived that a second time collapse? Or that would have been the end of being a basketball fan? No. Too painful.
It was just, I would have been, asking to replace the coach and, calling for the coach's head.
Right.
Like, something's not right.
Bring back Wooden. We need to say, and my boy Jay Lux, who also went to Virginia. Jay was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, grew up out there and went to University of Virginia, and he was freaking out that they were going to the finals. But you know what? Well-deserved Virginia.
Oh, man.
Big win. It was painful to see them lose last year and very painful in that first game this year, but they made it. They won it.
They made it.
So what was give us a little bit about your Virginia background. You grew up in Virginia?
Yes. Grew up in Virginia, born and raised. When I was trying to decide where I was going to go to college, of course, the two big football schools were Virginia and Virginia Tech.
Yes.
So I had those two schools.
Michael Vick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael Vick, the great one.
Michael Vick, Virginia Tech.
Yeah, he's a couple years younger than me.
Oh, he was younger, so you were already the superstar. He was coming up.
Oh,
he can't be that much younger. You're pretty close. A couple of years?
Maybe,
not close enough that
5 or 6.
Okay, so you weren't in high school together. It was a different era.
I came along in the Allen Iverson era.
Ooh,
so
there you go.
Yeah,
he was a Virginia star.
Yes.
He was an unbelievable football player.
Amazing football player.
They thought he was going to be an NFL
He was
guy.
the number 1 football recruit and the number 1 basketball recruit.
At the same time.
Yeah, at the same time. So
now, did you play against him in high school?
No, I didn't get a chance to play. He played in his school was close to the beach. And I lived closer inward. I was like an hour and a half
So
away.
he was like Virginia Beach area. And you were inland. So totally different, but you were aware of him being a superstar at that point. Everyone knew who he was.
Everybody knew who he was just from, what happened to him in high school.
Yeah.
And with all that stuff.
But he didn't play after high school? He just played basketball. That was that, right?
Yeah,
there wasn't any more football after that.
He was in jail. John Thompson gave him a scholarship.
Right.
Got him
Saved
out
his
of. They
life.
got him out of jail, and
God bless John Thompson.
he played basketball.
Did that with a lot of guys. It was a lot of guys that
Oh, he was a
Thompson
great
mentored,
coach.
guys
Great
that
coach.
were bad upbringings, jail, prison, single family,
Oh, yeah.
single parent home, like troubled kids, and he
did
got
a
them
lot.
into this education and the great culture there at Georgetown and coached them for
Yeah,
life.
what a great
and
school, Georgetown.
amazing school. If you go there, what an incredible
Yeah.
school. So here you are in Virginia. You're a high school star. Do you play other sports besides football?
Yeah, I played everything.
Everything.
Not basketball. I was gonna say baseball. I ran track. I wrestled. Wrestling was my favorite.
Really?
Yes.
I can imagine.
Loved
Were
it.
you already big in high school in terms of
No,
like,
not really. So I started wrestling in the 9th grade, and I was 160 pounds.
what?
Yes, I was.
So you're just an average
And so
ninth grader,
I was really light. I was like 152, but
but you were in the 160
I
division.
I had to go into the 160 because I think my teammate that was the one I was supposed to be in. I didn't. He was better than me, so
Got it.
I couldn't.
You weren't good enough yet.
Yeah, I had to go up and wait.
So you were wrestling, loving that. What position did
Loved
you
it.
play in baseball?
Baseball, did everything.
All of it.
Outfield, first
of it.
base, never pitched, never caught.
Yeah.
But
So
everything
played all
else.
of it in high school, but clearly through high school you became a football star. Were you player of the year or were you all state, all
I
that
think
kind of stuff?
I was all state, and I think co-player of the year.
And
my
you
last year.
was it clear for you that you wanted to stay in Virginia? I mean, going to Notre Dame or
No.
USC or anywhere
No,
else?
not at first.
Okay.
When I first started getting recruited, I thought that I wanted to go to Penn State
Penn State, okay.
because I was a linebacker at Penn State U. I knew a couple guys from
Paterno.
Virginia. Yeah,
Makes sense.
Paterno. So
Did you take a recruiting trip there?
yes.
Okay.
So my recruiting trips were Boston College, Penn State, North Carolina, and Virginia, and I canceled my Virginia Tech.
Wow.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech must have been
That
just
was the
so
last
upset.
one, and I think it comes down to how you order your schools. So by the time you get to the end of the list,
You
you're
know.
like, you're so
You're
tired.
fatigued,
You're
you know what
tired.
you
You
wanna
don't
do.
want to. Yeah, you're like trying to
Wait,
make a decision.
So you didn't take your fifth trip?
No.
Are you kidding me?
I
A high
canceled
school
it.
kid had a chance to take a trip and go hang
I was
out
tired. I was
at
tired
Virginia
of the whole
Tech, the home
process.
of Michael Vick. You could have had a blast.
I didn't think I wanted to go there anyway.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Because
And-
you have good values, and we'll talk about that later. But that's a typical James Farrior decision. You had good values, probably didn't want to waste anyone's time or lead them
Yeah.
on. I would have gone to the parties, frat row. I would have been all
I
up
thought
in
about it. I thought
VT.
about it.
Come on, James.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Now you regret it.
Yeah, I had friends that went to Virginia Tech during that same time period, so I got a chance to visit them and visit the campus.
Yeah.
And, I
I'm
don't-
sure you had plenty of fun. No one's
Yeah,
playing the
college-
violin for you.
College was that's the most fun time
Good
you'll ever
experience.
have in your life.
Good school, good education at Virginia.
Yeah,
Are you friends
great
with
school.
any of your college guys? Are you still
Oh,
in
yeah.
touch?
We-
So that's cool.
We all still keep up with
And who was
each
your
other.
coach then?
George Welsh.
It's a great coach.
Great coach. He just passed away recently.
Oh, rest
yeah.
in peace to him and his
He
family.
was
Prayers.
he was an old school guy.
Tough.
Yeah, he was from the Navy, so
Wow.
him and Joe Paterno coached together, so he had sort
So
of
that was
mold.
old school,
Yeah.
tough football, discipline,
Yeah.
up early, work hard,
Yeah.
no BS.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yes, be 15 minutes early to be on time. I know that.
Yeah.
That was like Coach Cruz that we had, Frank
Yeah,
Cruz.
but
I
though-
got to get him on the podcast.
Coaches like that and being around people like that that
Really-
help molds you, and
really
you
shapes you.
go back and think about the things that he taught you, and it's just really life changing.
Did you have that kind of experience in high school with coaching or no?
Well, high school is a little different. I mean, most of the coaches in high school, they're not
Teachers,
really.
yeah.
They're all teachers, and that they're doing that to get that extra paycheck.
Yeah. It's rare to
most
have
of the
a
time, but
special
yeah.
coach in high school.
Yeah, so we, I was from a small school, so
So
we didn't
no,
really
you didn't
have big.
some
yeah,
highly recognized guy. We
but
we were
we
lucky
had
enough
good
to have
coaches.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. they
So
were good
that
enough.
said, that's an interesting point. It seems, getting to the NFL, obviously everyone's got the tools and the speed and the size, but going to a college with a hardcore disciplinarian coach who's teaching you to be on time, is teaching you to watch film, there's no other way except working hard every day, getting the most out of every day. How much does that prep you for the NFL? Because I can't think about how many people I know or people I don't know, but that went to the NFL, first rounders that didn't make it. And really, yes, some had injuries and there's bad luck. But a lot of times it's the mental toughness and the discipline of not being able to grind, which you need to do. Doesn't matter how talented you are at the NFL. Everyone's so talented. You have to be able to grind day in and day out. What do you speak to that? Do you think that was important to have that kind of leadership and coaching?
That definitely built the foundation, a strong foundation to carry me on throughout my career. I mean, you go through those, summer training camps and, it's hot and you got coaches yelling in your ear.
How hot was it in Virginia in August? 110?
Hot, yeah. Oh, hot and humid.
110 and humid.
It's the humidity that gets you.
2 days. Oh.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Going through all of that stuff
sounds torturous.
Every year, and that helps build character and build what you need to, be successful in your career, whatever you do.
I bet. Well, look, I didn't want this to be a typical ESPN Sports, ABC, NFL interview discussion. I really wanted it to get into more personal, get to the edges, get to the serious stuff, especially with you. You're a very articulate, intellectual guy. You have great values. You are a huge family man, and I want to get into that. But before we turn into that, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what it actually means to be an NFL athlete. And most people, most human beings, unless you've played at least at a competitive high school level of football, you have no clue the physicality, the collisions, the power, the force, what people go through. If you played high school at a high level and you were very involved, you have a taste. And obviously if you played college, you have a better taste. But we're talking about the greatest athletes on the planet, the strongest, fastest, toughest athletes on the planet, having collisions for 3 hours. I can't really articulate that. The only thing I could think of in my life, and I played football through high school and, was going to play college, but I blew out my knee. So that was the end of me. I'm probably lucky that happened. If I played another four years of college, it would have gotten really beat up. But the only other thing I can compare it to in sports, I was thinking about this before you came in, was big wave surfing. We have a book here of Mavericks, and I love surfing, but I'm not a big wave surfer. I'm not going, I've surfed big waves for me, 10 foot, 15 foot, but I'm not going out at Mavericks and Bonsai Pipeline. I'm not doing life-threatening stuff. But those guys that do, the description of what it's like to wipe out and be held under, it's like being in a washing machine and your body is running around. It feels like your arms and legs are being pulled off. You can't breathe. Yet you have to have the ability to stay calm and fight all your survival instinct. Because if you panic, which all of us normally would do, if you panic, you run out of oxygen and then you do drown. So I've never done it at that level, but I've done it at a big enough level of waves where I'm like, whoa, I felt that. And it was nothing like, so that was the only other things. Yet football is 3 hours, 50, 60, 70 plays, and that's one game. So I don't think people really relate to that. Now, before where I'm going with this is, okay, you got all the toughest men on the planet in the NFL, any one of them, maybe except the kicker, right? And even the kickers are getting cock diesel now. So they're getting bigger and stronger too, and they're throwing it. But if you're gonna pick one position or the toughest guy on the field, it's middle linebacker, inside linebacker. That's what you played 15 years in the NFL. So you basically were the baddest man on the planet for a long time.
If that's the way you want to put it.
That's the way I'm going to look at it. And why I'm bringing this up is because I think of the mindset that you must have had, the toughness, the physical and mental toughness to go through that year after year. And now life after football, I know you after football, where you are a serious family man. You have 5 beautiful children, a dynamic, beautiful wife who we love, Aman. Hi, Aman. She might be walking around somewhere.
I'll definitely have to see her.
But like, you are dedicated to your family. Values are clearly important. You're like a Mr. Mom now. You're this like gentle, kind, warm guy. Couldn't be more different than when I look at these pictures now. I look at this guy. That guy's like a ferocious lion. So talk to me about the mindset it took to get to the NFL, survive in the NFL, because you can't be this nice when you put on your helmet. So what's the mindset to play in the NFL at that competitive level versus what's the mindset now being a father? And, it's just as intense in a totally different way. It's not physical collisions, but having little kids run around, whew.
So basically, I mean, being an NFL player or being any type of pro athlete, your main focus is taking care of your body.
Right.
I mean, that's your moneymaker. That's the bottom line. So basically you have to train yourself to be able to get yourself in shape and be able to play whatever sport it is. And, football just happened to be mine. So, just learning how to get your body into the best shape and be the most prepared, athlete out there. And, you don't want your body to fail you because that's, where you're gonna be successful. So, just that transition and, you saying being ferocious and all that stuff on the football field, I felt like that was something that just naturally came to me. It was like, I was a certain kind of way off the field and just a normal, person like anybody else. And then it was a certain way I had to be on the football field. And it was a certain mentality that you have to have. And, you just go into once you step out onto the field, you start, thinking about all the things you need to do. You forget about everything that's going on in your life and your world
stops. It's just you have to be
just focused on football.
Yeah, coverages and schemes and
whatever it may be. Whatever practice is or whatever you're going through, training, anything. So that going through that and having to do that, and having that mindset for so long. I played 15 years, so
and then plus college,
just
plus
to repeat,
high school.
Just repeating all of those things that help build over the years and
day in, day out.
Yeah.
Moment to moment, hour to hour.
It all comes together on Sunday, game day, all of that stuff that you work hard for all week, and boom, you show that product on Sunday. And, that prepared me for what I'm doing now, basically.
Life after sports.
Yeah, it's no I think that football definitely prepared me for parenthood in ways that, I think are very helpful for me now.
Sure.
I think that, the biggest thing with football is that, you go into a game, you have a whole game plan ready, and a team comes out and does something totally different.
Yeah.
For the whole game. So you
have a plan until they punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, you're basically having to adjust to, what's going on at the time, and have to be able to figure out decisions and do things like that. And kids are the exact same way. I mean, I have 5 kids, and me and my wife have 4 together, and they're all different personalities. They all change, and they're all like, you can when they wake up in the morning, you need to see what their temperament is to know what type of day it's going to be.
Yeah. So what's tougher, stopping Tom Brady in the New England offense, or running
around
with little kids?
Football was definitely easier.
That's great.
For sure.
Yeah.
Having to
Did I tell you how tough it is, Sarah?
Dealing
Parenthood
with kids
is no joke. If you're in it like you are, and I mean, you are really in it, it's 24/7, all consuming.
So, I mean, my twins are 5-year-olds. They're 5. They're about to be 6 in July. My 3-year-old, she's about to be 4.
Is 18 months or a little over a year.
Yeah, she'll be 4 in June. The baby is 15. Is 15 months? Yes, 15 months.
Yeah.
He was born in January.
So it'll be fun to get them out on the beach this summer with my kids and let them run around and go nuts.
This is their first year. They started track this year. So the twins, and it's been like a life-changing moment for me. Yeah. I mean,
bringing sports into being a father.
Yeah, my oldest twin is always running around. She always telling me she wants to run, and they have a great track program out where we live. So
awesome.
It was just a natural. Yeah, we're gonna get the twins when they're old enough to run track,
and they responded to it.
So they're excited. I'm excited. I'm thinking like, oh man, having this opportunity for my kids and them being able to be out there and watch them grow, and I'm thinking that they're gonna, they're so excited about it and looking forward to it. They have me fired up. I'm ready to go. So we get out there the first day, they're the youngest
Oh, they're young. Okay.
they're the youngest, and they go all the way up from 5 to like 15 or 16.
Got it.
So
okay.
it's like
they're in there. They're
Yeah.
at a young age.
So they get out there. The first thing they have to do is run 2 laps around the track. And that
How did that work out?
that was a disaster. Yeah,
How was that?
that let me know right there that like, whoa, maybe I need to slow down my expectations.
Yeah.
They were ready to quit.
They weren't ready for the Olympics
couldn't run.
yet.
They could not run 2 laps. Now, granted, a lot of those kids couldn't do it, and it was the first day, so it takes a lot. It's hard for grown-ups to do laps like that. So. Yeah, so man, I came home just totally deflated,
bummed out.
Oh man, my wife was like, "Yeah, honey, just you shouldn't have just put so much thought into this. I mean, they're only 5 years old." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, okay, blah blah blah." So this, so now, and I volunteer, so I'm a volunteer, so I'm out there with them every day. So
teaching them that first step, that first step
week,
explosion.
Yeah, that first week was like, man, I'm gonna just cheer them on and be happy.
It's a hard thing coaching kids. I'm still having trouble. My oldest now is 8 playing baseball, and it's really hard. It's really hard. The expectations, and you don't want to put them on you don't want to give them put the pressure on them. But then I see what other kids are already doing at this young age. It's so accelerated with the coaches and the travel, and I feel like it's a hard balance because I don't want to be the overbearing parent.
Right. Exactly.
But I have all this knowledge to give them. I want to give it to them and give them the best chance to succeed.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I think that's a dad thing.
it's a dad thing.
Yeah,
it's a universal
gotta be a dad thing.
It's got.
I mean, yeah. My wife's like, just calm down. Let them just have
got a
fun.
few more years.
I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then, so this past weekend was their first invitational track meet.
Oh,
so,
they had a track meet.
Yeah. So, this is probably their 3rd or 4th one. And, they did pretty good the first 2 or 3. And this was like the big one. So it's like 15 teams.
Wow.
Like, it's like legit. Like all 2 days. It's a 2-day event. So yeah, you have to come
uniforms
back.
And the whole thing.
Yeah, uniforms, all that. Yeah. So yeah, we get out there and they get into the first race. So they're the youngest group, so they don't do finals on the second day. They do most of the final stuff.
The 5-year-olds.
Yeah, they do that the first day. So yeah, my girls, they're on the relay team.
Together.
They're 2 of the legs on the relay team.
Nice.
And one of the track one of their teammates wasn't there, so they weren't going to be able to run, and so we got an alternate, another young girl that
found a 5-year-old to fill in.
We found our 5-year-old to fill in, and they got out there, and it was the final, so it's just you win, and that's what you place.
Yeah.
And they got 3rd, and that was their first medal, and
were they excited?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah,
there you go.
They
caught the bug, probably.
Oh, they caught the bug, and I didn't even have to do anything.
Well,
they just got that taste.
They get the taste, and that's what you want, to naturally get the bug, get the taste, feeling what it's like to compete and win.
Yeah.
And then they do it on their own. That's what we hope as parents.
I didn't have to do anything. I didn't overcoach them. I didn't do anything. I just told them to go out there and have fun, and that's what they've been doing, and they've been improving, and it's been great.
So I love this theme and concept with you, from being the toughest guy on the planet to being this kind, gentle Mr. Mom. Let's go back and give me what's a typical Sunday game routine to get ready. You got the Patriots Sunday. What is your routine versus what is your routine now on a Sunday or a Monday with the kids, and give me the routine. And you don't have to censor it. Let's hear the real deal. How
typical game day?
Were you firing up, or were you meditating? I know players do different things.
The day of the game, it depends on what time the game is. So I used to like early games.
Okay.
I used to like 1:00 games.
Okay, so it's a 1:00 game.
It's like wake up, eat some breakfast, and time to go.
You don't have to think about it.
You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to wait around all day to stuff like that. So that was my favorite time to play the early 1:00 games. And it was basically, I wake up. We usually stayed in the hotel the night before the game.
Okay, so the whole team's there in the hotel.
Yeah, so the whole team's there. Wake up, eat. I used to eat a light breakfast, maybe just a couple pieces of bacon and some toast, like not too much.
Okay.
And
So you're not a huge breakfast.
not a huge breakfast fan. I mean, I love breakfast; is my favorite food, but
before
not
a
on
game,
game day. Yeah, I don't want anything.
And
on
you
my
wouldn't
stomach.
eat anything else until 1 o'clock game, or you would have other things.
Oh no, I wouldn't eat until after the game.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that's
So eat a light breakfast.
light breakfast, head home to get changed, and usually, if it's a home game, my family used to be there,
Got it.
and I would get them ready to get to the game because I had to be there early.
Yeah.
So,
So how early are you getting there now for a 1
we
o'clock?
would get to a game, a 1 o'clock game. We had to be there at 11.
Yeah, so it's not so early.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Because the game starts. And then what's your routine from there?
Get to the locker room, get dressed, get taped. I'm listening to my music now. So now I'm just listening to all my music to get me fired up and
What would
ready
you
to
be
go.
listening to? Give me an example.
Just rap music, a lot of like NWA, old school, Dr.
NWA,
Dre.
would
Yeah,
love it.
Oh yeah,
Terry Heller will like that. We had Terry
Yeah.
Heller on the podcast, and his uncle Jerry Heller signed NWA, and we were talking about Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, classics.
all hardcore gangster rap basically.
I love it. So you're getting fired up.
Yeah, that gets
Intense.
that would get my heart beating a little
And
bit.
once the earphone, you were listening to headphones, and listening to music with the earphones.
Yes.
So once that happens, is that no more communicating with people? Just listening to music?
No,
or-
I'm still talking to
Oh, you're
people in the
still
locker room.
talking.
Yeah, I'm
Everyone's-
talking loud in the locker room,
Got it.
being crazy. Yeah,
You're being
trying to
crazy.
get everybody fired up.
So
yeah.
you're getting people fired up. You're now the hype man.
basically, yeah,
as the leader of a team.
I was one of them. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
one of the hype men, and just trying to bring a lot of energy to the group because I know it's gonna take a whole lot for this game today. So I want everybody fired up, ready to go.
Right.
And I had to be fired up and ready to go.
Yeah.
So
you took it upon yourself as a leader.
Yeah.
To say, hey, I got to get everyone to their maximum ability.
yeah, so
getting
then
them
everybody
mentally
goes
ready.
out, they warm up, everybody warms up, and I used to go out early to stretch. So I used to go out and stretch. So when warm-ups came, I was just talking trash. Yeah, I
You
wasn't.
mean you would go and stretch on your own?
Yeah, I was stretched before
So you're ready.
before the stretch, so I would be already ready to go.
And now you're talking trash to the other team?
Talking trash to my teammates,
To your teammates.
to myself, to other
everybody.
team, yeah, anybody, yeah, just
I love
trying to
it.
get myself going.
Trying to get
and,
yourself
yeah,
any edge to get fired
get into
up.
that mentality. I mean, for me, I wanted to play mad, angry, and
Yeah, pissed off.
yeah, that's the way. I mean, that's the only way to play.
So is there butterflies when you're playing in the NFL, even when you're a veteran? Is there that,
yeah.
oh my God, this is scary, I could really hurt is there any fear? Or is it
No.
you got to overcome it like the big wave surfers? They look, I got to I'm going to collide with some of the toughest men on the planet. I need to get ready
that's-
for that.
That's what all that stuff
Mental
I was.
stuff is
Yeah,
for.
that's what all that I was doing.
Yeah.
doing just to try not to even think
About that.
Yeah,
So that just doesn't, you can't let it in.
Yeah,
you gotta
you don't
get,
let it in.
You got to get fired
I
up
mean-
and you're ready to go in and just
Yeah.
crush somebody.
yeah,
Which
basically.
you did 1,400 plus times.
Yeah, so basically, warm ups, come back into the locker room. The coach says what he's gonna say, and then we go out there and have at it.
There you go. And then during the game, once you get back to halftime, by halftime, are you totally fatigued and banged up and you're just catching some water and getting your breath? Or what happens at halftime? for you?
Halftime that's adjustment period. That's the time.
Mental adjustments.
Yeah, that's when you really see the
Strategy.
good teams. Yeah, you see the good teams that know how to make adjustments at halftime. Those are going to be the better teams.
So that's where the chess players
Yeah,
take
I mean,
over.
just like I said, you go into a game practicing something all week of what you've seen on tape, and they come out and do something totally different.
Yeah.
Every time, and we had a pretty good defense, so teams would never just show us what they were going to do.
Yeah. They were always
Ever. Yeah,
hiding.
it
what
was
they were gonna
always
do
going to be something
try
new.
to keep you off balance.
It was always something different, and we had a good enough coaching staff that they were great at adjusting at halftime.
Who were some of your defensive coordinators and linebacker coaches?
Dick LeBeau, the great
Wow.
Dick LeBeau.
Legends,
He played 15 years in the league. Coach, I think
saw a lot of football.
coached 50 years, maybe.
50 years.
Yeah. I
imagine what
think
he's
last year was his first year not coaching
Yeah.
football.
They were playing with leather helmets when he
Yeah.
started.
I think he might have went
Then
through
they
that
went to
leather
one
helmet.
bar.
Yeah, he
Then
might have
went to
had
2
all of that.
bars.
He might have had all of that.
So he was one of. And it was. Were you playing under Tomlin?
Tomlin
was there. Right?
Tomlin was there. My last 5 years was Tomlin. My first 5 years was Bill Cowher.
Yeah. So you won a Super Bowl with both? With Cowher,
Yes.
one with Cowher, one with Tomlin.
Each. Yeah.
Unreal. What an accomplishment. You never wear your rings, huh? You couldn't just rock the rings for us and
I forgot about it. I was gonna wear one of them.
Tell him to get his rings in here. We were gonna wear Virginia hats for you too, but
I kept my Virginia hat.
I had
at home
showings
today.
this morning. I couldn't get to Foot Locker to get a hat. So you had some great coaching there too. A question before we get into your parenting routine. Coming from college, you were already a big time player. Skill set in terms of learning the position and learning the game. Did you get to the NFL and then have to relearn and learn all sorts of? I don't mean playbooks and schemes. I mean,
No.
did you have to learn how to play linebacker, or you already knew and now it was just studying play?
Now it's learning how to be a professional linebacker.
And what does that
learning
mean?
How to study the game,
Studying tape.
Yeah, learning how to watch tape, learning how to study your opponent to where you can
Know
just
all
look
tendencies.
you can look at how they're standing and tell what they're going to do.
What's going on? This guy's leaning this way. This guy's hands here. That's a run.
And you're not looking at just one person. You're looking at the whole.
Now, weren't
big
you
scene.
doing that in college though, or just not at that level? I mean, you're watching tape in college.
You're doing that, but
just not at that
college
level
you still have to go to class. You have study hall. You want to go to parties.
Yeah, there's
like
the kegger and the DBT house. You don't want to miss that.
That's all of that too now in college. So college is a little bit different now. Yeah.
So you're just putting in more hours of studying the game.
NFL, you go to work at 7:30. You get home at 5:30.
Yeah. So it's all those hours.
It's all day.
Is there technique though that you're learning that you didn't learn, or
Not
you
really.
pretty much knew it? It's just refining things.
Once you get to the NFL,
you're not getting there unless you already had.
You already have most of what you need, and
So it's really the mental side, being a professional, being able to. I hear from people I know and it's my friends that have been in the NFL that the transition, even for some of the superstar first rounders, from playing a college or high school to college season, which is 11, 12 games, to pros where it's 4 or 5 preseason, 16 regular and playoffs. I hear that there's a lot of fatigue where physically a lot of the best players by mid-season, their first, sometimes first and second years or longer, they start to break down. Is that something that's common?
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier about training your body. Like, there's a big transition between 11 games and like
to 20 plus.
Yeah,
and if for playoffs, 23, 24 games.
Yeah, a lot of young players don't understand.
2 seasons.
Basically. So, it's harder for young players to understand that and go through it. They have to just go through it.
Are you guys during the season? I'm getting so into the football orb and diving deep because I love football. Runs in my blood. That's my favorite sport.
Okay.
And I would have liked to play another 4 years of college and would have liked to go to the NFL and get my head knocked off. But it's better that I blew out my knee and didn't have to go through the damage.
Yeah, you're doing all right now.
Doing all right.
You're doing good.
I survived, but it's still in my blood. So I'm like, I could have played 4 more seasons. But when you're in the NFL, and I know how we did it in high school, and I've seen it. I go to the SC practices and I see what they do and UCLA's practices. Your weekly preparation, there's a ton of film. There's recovery and ice and training room. There's the intellectual side. There's running through plays, offense and defense. How much time, if any, is spent with full contact in the NFL? Because it's such a violent
Sunday.
Sunday.
Nowadays, it's not any contact. Like,
so during the week, once the season starts, it's just
they pretty much
shoulder pads
limited
and shorts, or not even helmets, or they just don't.
Yeah, I don't even think they do shoulder pads anymore.
It's just
But
when you played, you did have contact during the week.
Oh,
Bill Cowher, I got to think he was a beast. He probably
my first coach was Bill Parcells at the Jets.
I mean, he probably had you guys running into concrete walls for practice.
Yeah. Bill Parcells was the head coach,
and you were hitting. It was live contact.
Training camp was brutal. Man, every day, full pads in the morning, shoulder pads in the afternoon. That was it. Every day.
How do you do that day after day?
Yeah, Sunday to Sunday, maybe you got a day off or afternoon off.
I just can't imagine the stingers and the
it
bruised arms and legs.
To think about, like when I go back and think about it now, like I'm like, wow,
how did I do it?
That was
All right, so that's interesting. So today's game with the new safety rules and the protocol
they're trying
for
to make it safe. Yeah,
they're
so
not having contact. So there's
training camp is where they're going to get most of their work. That's where they're gonna get all
training
the contact
camp
work.
and lead into the preseason where it's obviously full contact games, and then during the season it's limited or no contact.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
They made a lot of rules, and it's understandable. They're trying to make the game safer.
Yeah, they don't want everyone. They don't want people to get hurt. I mean, it's a dangerous game. It's totally understandable. All right, so let's switch gears now. Prepping for the routine. What's the routine? What's James Farrior as a father's routine?
Oh, man.
I know every day is probably different, but what's a typical school day? How about?
Typical
I know what kind of chaos goes on in my house in school days.
The baby, he's starting to wake up at his.
He's first.
Yeah, he used to be last, but now he's first. So between 6 and 6:30, he wakes up, and I go get him up. I try to let Iman sleep as long as she can because she's going to work.
Yep.
So I get up with the baby, get him milk. Have to get he's still drinking milk in the morning, so I get his milk ready, get the bottle ready, and then probably around 7 o'clock is the time the girls need to get up. So that's when Iman gets up and she goes and does their hair, and that's
get their
very
hair done.
Yeah. Now
Get their hair did, I should say.
Getting three girls ready, and getting their hair done is the hair part is the hardest part for me. Now, when I have to do it it takes me an extra 30 minutes. So, that's why
that's her thing.
Yeah, if she gets the hair done, everything else is smooth.
So who's handling breakfast? Is that you?
I try to get them breakfast. They're 5 and 3, so they're eating like waffles and
that's
whatever I can put in the
breakfast
toaster. Yeah, whatever I can fit in the toaster, and they'll take it. Get them out of the house.
So now you get them dressed and get them out of the house.
Are
you taking them to school?
Sometimes, Iman tries to take them as much as she can, but sometimes she can't take them, and she'll ask me to take them. So I'll take them sometimes, and when she can't take them, when she takes them, I don't have to, so I'll be home with the baby.
Got it. So you'll stay home with the baby.
Yeah, so I'll be home with the baby.
So you got baby duty.
Yeah. So if I take them to school, I usually get home around 8:30, and then I'll be with the baby. But if not, I'll just.
What does that mean, be with the baby? Like you're playing with the baby, you're taking him with you?
Yeah, man. He just walks around the house and just gets into everything, and
thinks he's the boss.
Yeah, we're just having a good time. He's talking. He wants to go outside. He wants to eat everything that he sees. Right. He wants to put everything in his mouth.
So this goes on for how long?
Yeah,
8:30 in the morning to.
Yeah, depending on. When we schedule the babysitter, Iman's in charge of the schedule. So,
of course, moms are always in charge.
Yeah, she does a great job of scheduling everything for the week.
She runs a tight ship. Doesn't she?
Great shit. Yeah, we're lost without her. I'm telling you.
Me too. With my wife, she runs a tight ship.
Yeah, so the babysitter can be there depending on what we have to do that during that day. The babysitter will come between either early. Either they'll come early at 9 or 10, or they'll come in like 1. Yeah. And usually they're 6 hours. So
then you go do the rest of your day.
That's the rest of my day as far as having some free time. So whenever the babysitter comes, that's when I have.
So what's that look like?
A couple
for you
hours.
Now? You're not looking at tape, and you're not training. And
I'm going to work. I'm going to the gym.
Oh, you are. You're going. Yeah. You're still going to the gym.
I try to go to the gym. Yeah, I have to.
You are in good shape. You're lean.
I have to stay in shape, man. My wife's in great shape, so
you got to keep up with her.
Yeah, that's my motivation. Yeah.
So you are still training. A lot different. You have a lot different physique than you did before.
Oh, a lot different.
You're not as bulked up for sure.
Yeah,
but you're still lean and in shape. That's good.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my heart rate.
Got to keep up with those tracksters.
And my girls. Yeah. My budding track stars. Yeah.
So you work out.
Yeah, and by the time I get from the gym, it's time to pick the kids up from school.
That's funny. And you're back at. Now it's the late afternoon night schedule.
Now it's the worst part of the day, trying to figure out what they're gonna eat for dinner.
Oh, and that is the worst.
Oh my goodness!
Getting them to sit down and eat and
all of that whole process is brutal.
So this is very different than full contact with Bill Parcells and
Cower
and full contact practice.
It's just as hard. It's just as hard.
Taxing and just as hard. Do you feel just as tired? When 7 or 8 o'clock comes.
Man, when we put those kids to sleep, it's like you just take a deep breath. I got a big wine cellar. I got a lot of bottles of wine.
You love wine. I do know that. So you break open a bottle of wine, have a glass, and
I have to. For sure.
Me too.
Every night. That's every day.
You
like
just
yeah,
have
you
to.
feel that same way.
So you are
every
mentally
day.
and physically drained.
Every day.
Yet you can't be in as much pain as having full contact
No,
all day. But,
not at all.
mentally, you're in the same
yeah,
pain.
I definitely, mentally the same pain, or maybe worse.
So that's great. So that's the routine now.
Yeah,
That's a
And,
totally different thing.
Doctor's appointments,
The usual
after
stuff.
school programs. I try to
You're very involved with the after school
very
day to
involved
day,
with all that stuff. So
which is awesome. That's really commendable as a father to be able to do that. I try to do as much as I can. You're making me look bad because you're there.
I feel blessed. I feel unbelievably blessed to be able to be in that position, and I thank God.
This is
every
what
day,
you want to be doing with your time.
I mean, there's nothing that I would rather be doing.
So that brings me up to another really important, serious topic that I get into this dialogue a lot with clients and business managers and friends about athletes and entertainers and setting themselves up for life after their careers, and how tragic it is that so many athletes, let's just say, since we're talking, make so much money during their career, yet don't sustain, don't invest well, don't live right, and end up with nothing when they should have been set up for the next 3, 4, 5 generations. If they're So you're able to do what you want to do. I got to think there's something to be said about how you invested, how you lived below your means, how you were somewhat conservative. Tell me about your approach as a player and now, and what you've done. I know you've got some real estate holdings and things, but and we don't have to get into the details of your investments, but what was your mentality? Did you start from early on knowing that, hey, I want to set myself up? Was it part of your education, part of your being raised? Like, how did you get to that point where so many players haven't done what you've done? And, I'd just love to hear that. And what advice you would give to players and athletes that are coming through the league and signing big contracts.
Yeah, you see a lot of players that, where you got to look at where we come from and how you're raised,
for sure,
and your environment, and all the things around you.
100%,
because
you're not born into that.
Financial
most of the time, education.
Yeah, I wasn't a rich kid. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, and my parents.
You didn't grow up in Beverly Hills?
No, my family didn't have a big financial history or background to be able to teach me about finances.
Did your parents go to college?
Yes, they both went to college, graduated from college. You already had an
advantage there. You have very educated parents.
And, they were
a lot of athletes don't.
Yes, both 2 parents in the household. So, I was very fortunate with that.
Yeah.
And, both working parents. But, I think the foundation is, it all comes down to the person and what type of person you are. And I've always been a, sort of conservative person and, not really trying to be flashy or, didn't want too much attention. I've always been low key like that. And, once you get a guy 22, 20 coming into the draft and coming into the league and signing multi-million-dollar deals and never having this much money at one time, and you think you're on top of the world. I thought I was the richest man in the world when I signed my first contract.
Yeah, but if you go from having zero your whole life and you've never seen anyone, you've never seen wealth, you've never understood it, and all of a sudden here's a 10, 20, whatever $1 million contract, or even if it's a $1 million contract, it's like unfathomable. And
yes. So you have to deal with that, and you basically have to look at it as, and not a lot of guys look at this, but you have a small window.
Very small for football.
Very small window.
Any sport or anything.
Any
entertainment.
This is probably the most money you're going to make ever in your life in this
short
time period. Yeah, I mean, unless you're
lucky, yeah.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson or whatever.
I mean, you have to be able to, if you want to sustain your lifestyle that you're living right now and, have all the things that you want to enjoy in life, you have to save your money. You have to save and invest and make smart decisions. And, you see a lot of guys, waste a lot of money on jewelry, cars, things that don't appreciate, and, things that lose value as soon as you buy.
Depreciating assets.
Yeah. So, you go through that phase, and you get a lot of guys, succumb to that, because peer pressure is tough too in the NFL.
They see everyone. They want to keep up the Joneses.
You see the older guys.
He's got a Lambo. He's got the Miami condo. He's got this ring.
So,
everyone's trying to keep up.
Peer pressure is tough.
Wow.
And it's definitely tough for young players, and that's where you start getting in trouble.
Yeah. Isn't there isn't there voices, whether it's in the sports professional organization side or the agent player representation side or the business, aren't there people saying, hey, don't be a cliche? Aren't there people? Or is it just they say it, but it's hard to actually live it?
Yeah, but you have these people that you have to worry about who you surround yourself with and the people that you're around, because
that's everything.
That's a lot of the people that are telling you certain things. They have different agendas.
Yeah, invest in my nightclub and my restaurant.
You have a lot of that. You have a lot of people that try to make you feel guilty, like, I supported you so many. Now now you're writing. You should look out. You should look out for me. And as an athlete, you get that as a professional athlete.
I'm sure.
And
so there's people coming at you.
That's the stuff that drags people down, and that's why you see these situations. And guys got to understand that some things that you did in the past you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
Some mindsets that you used to have, you can't have that mindset anymore.
Yeah.
Some people that you used to associate with,
you
might not be able to associate them with the same way anymore, because your life is different.
And are there any veterans or organizations that do this? I mean, you would be a good spokesman for educating
I think it's just
athletes. I've always thought I'd love to help out and educate athletes and entertainers, just financial education. So they understand.
For me, it was just, learning what I learned and just trying to tell as many young guys as I can.
So you do try to pass on your knowledge
for sure.
And educate people.
The guys, a lot of my teammates, we're mentors to a lot of young guys and that are coming up in the league and young superstars. So, we all, it's a small fraternity. So, we all see the downfalls and the loopholes and the situations that you shouldn't be in. And we've all learned from that. And, we're really close. And the fact that, a lot of the older guys try to help the young guys out.
That's fantastic.
Because, nobody wants to see that. You make a ton of money and you're broke and you're having to trying to get a job and work a 9 to 5. It's
just tragic.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, you have generational money you're making within a short period of time. It's a shame to see it all go to waste, but that's honorable. It's wonderful that you're doing that.
Oh, but yeah, just, for younger players, just learn how to manage and save your money. And, you don't have to try to make home run investments. Just, saving it is probably the best thing you can do.
Just not spending it.
Just not
saving
spending
it in a low interest bearing account.
Yeah. Don't try to go out and have 15, 20 cars. Yeah. You can only drive one. You can only drive one.
I know. It's true. Think about that. The millions of dollars wasted on that.
Millions. And that, I'm saying this because I've been through it.
Yeah.
I've made all the mistakes that, they're probably going to make, and done all the things that they're thinking about doing. And, looking back on it, I wish I would have, had somebody to tell me that earlier, or somebody to influence me to, make different decisions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but you caught on. I mean, obviously you did something right. You put yourself in a position now where you can focus on being a dad, and you have your investments, and you're able to pass it on, and you got a long career of whatever you want to do ahead of you. That makes me think, what is next for you? Are there passions of interest outside of course, parenting, but do you have interests in hobbies or other careers that you're thinking you'd like to pursue going forward, or you don't know?
Too far down the road, man. I'm just, trying to get my babies into kindergarten right now.
So you're just Mr. Dad right now.
I'm basically living through my kids. Yeah. And, enjoying, what they're going through, and, all the things they have going on. And, it's been so much fun for me. And my wife, she told me last night, she was like, you really found your calling with going out there with these girls. And I was like, so
you're just going to embrace that to the fullest.
Yeah, to the fullest.
So that lasts another 10, 15 years.
Oh yeah, that's a long time. Yeah. That's like that's my second career.
When you get to that, you'll think about what's third after being a parent.
Once all my kids are out of the house and in college, and
then you'll start evaluating what else do I want to do.
Then I'll see what's next.
I love it. That's fair enough. That's good. Good response. So tell me, getting back to football, what is your take on the status of the NFL, both from a business marketing standpoint, also from the safety collision protocol? Is the game going in the right direction with making new rules? Obviously, the less contact, less hitting with the head. I mean, I assume most people think it's safe, but does it change the Does it change the texture of the game? Does it change the heart and soul of the game? Give me your just overall take, and you could go in any direction here, from the business side to the player side to the fan side.
Well, business is booming, as my former teammate Antonio Brown would say.
Yeah.
Business is booming for the NFL. I think they're a money
Successful.
machine. Yeah.
Huge
All
conglomerate.
the owners are making money, so they're happy, and the game is getting safer.
Yeah.
The players don't like the new rules.
They don't.
But,
They don't like it.
in the big scheme of things, that's, they're going to have to change. And, every generation has had to go through a, transition period.
Evolution.
Yeah,
transition.
a certain period to make the game safer. And then you can go back to, the beginning of football, and you can see the
Different changes, different rules.
different changes, the different eras. And, so, you have to adjust and be able to adjust. I mean, because...
So you really think players, for the most part, are like, I don't like it's this change. It's restricting me too much. I don't want to think about whether I lower my head or don't. They over, even though they know it's being done hopefully for their safety.
They don't like it, but they have to adjust.
Yeah.
And those that adjust the best will be the ones that stick around.
It's a hard adjustment.
Oh,
it's
for
a
sure.
hard adjustment.
I'm glad I don't play in this.
You're coming full speed, and you're
time.
going to try to take down a running back coming at you 4 or 5 downhill, and you got to think about, wait, I can't use my head. I got to move it to the side and form tackle. I mean,
it's tough.
That
it's
in real time, real speed, that is really difficult to do.
Yeah, and
especially for the last 15 years
it's
since
hard
high
to
school.
even judge. It's hard to even judge those type of plays in real time.
Right,
like,
it's going so
you're the
fast.
referee, like you can't really know what you just saw until you like slow it down.
And as a player, it's happening so fast.
Oh,
you don't know where your body's going to
course.
end up when you're chasing someone, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, you're taking on the lineman and the fullback, now filling the hole, and boom. There's a lot to it, but of course, it makes sense. We want people to be safe. You want to do whatever you can to make people safe, and we're going to have to
They're
adjust.
trying to get more involved with the youth now. I see a lot more
starting
campaigning.
it lower.
Yeah,
starting
trying to make
when they're
it
young.
Yeah. So in that aspect, I think is good. But it's a violent game. It's a tough sport, and it's always going to be that way until they stop playing it. So
yeah, it is.
You just have to adjust and deal with all the changes that you make. But it's and at the end of the day, it's going to make everybody more money.
Yeah,
and
it's a big business. As big a business as it gets.
Yeah,
it's killing it
for sure.
So who are some of the toughest running backs to play against? Where you're like, oh man, this is going to be a long day. There's probably a lot of them.
Go back to my days. Corey Dillon was always tough. Rudy Johnson was. He's one of the kids that grew up in my neighborhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You both were Virginia?
Yeah. He was probably one of the tougher running backs to tackle. I mean,
who did he play for?
Cincinnati, the Bengals.
Okay. Yeah.
What's my buddy from Oakland? Marshawn Lynch. He was one of the toughest to tackle.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah. I played with two of the greatest, Jerome Bettis and Curtis Martin.
Yeah.
They were two of the best.
I mean, did you ever have to scrimmage against Jerome the Bus? I mean, you have to bring him down?
Yeah. Yeah.
How could you not be scared? How can a human being now, you just have to shut it down, brainwash yourself?
Oh, man, yeah. You got to
Because he is truly, Jerome Bettis, one of the just thickest, strongest, fastest. He seems like he could have just run through a wall, and you got to stop him.
But to me, the toughest guys to tackle was the small guys.
Got it.
The big guys were easy.
Bigger targets?
Yeah, it's a bigger target. Yeah, I'd rather go against a bigger running back.
Got it.
Than
So you're having fits when the shifty guys that are so quick.
They give everybody fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be chasing a rabbit around.
Right. So they might make you look bad because you're missing. But I mean,
they're gonna make you look bad.
There's no way about it. They're so quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about just straight collisions, running backs that are lowering their heads and like boom, you got to just take them on, and
it's tough.
So those are the guys. And now today, when you look at today's game, who do you look at as sort of some of your favorite players on either side of the ball?
Today's game?
Yeah.
I like all the new young quarterbacks.
So many good quarterbacks. It's unbelievable
Baltimore quarterback,
how good the quarterbacks
Cleveland
are.
quarterback. Yeah, we're in trouble this year. The Steelers are in trouble.
Uh-oh. Don't let Tomlin hear that.
That's all right. We still have Ben.
Yeah, you still have Ben. Somehow he just pulls it out every year.
Yeah.
I don't know how he keeps standing on his feet.
yeah.
He takes so many hits.
Just solidifying his Hall of Fame career.
Oh, what a career.
Yeah, I like all the young players.
What is his mindset, Ben Roethlisberger? I mean, he to do it year after year after year.
Man, he's getting up there now, and now for him it's just
legacy, winning. Yeah,
it's about championships.
Brady, just want to win and legacy.
Just want to win.
Yeah. So those are some of your. What were some of the favorite players you like to watch in your era?
Oh man, my days. Man, all the famous guys, Elways, Marinos.
Yeah.
All of those guys. I mean, who else? I mean, I don't even
Joe Montana.
All those quarterbacks. Randall Cunningham.
Oh, yeah, Randall Cunningham. Warren Moon.
All the old Giants linebackers.
Like Lord LT.
LT, Carl Banks.
Oh, that was a tough defense.
Yeah, Pepper Johnson. I played with Pepper Johnson.
Did you?
Yeah.
With the Jets or Steelers?
One or 2 years with Pepper at the Jets.
That's a badass,
Yeah.
right?
Man.
Could he hit somebody? Could he come up and just stick somebody?
Oh man, he was already a legend when I saw him. So he was hit Brian Cox.
Yeah,
I played with Brian Cox.
He's coaching, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he's coaching now. Yeah,
likes
Mo
his
Lewis.
cigars.
Mo Lewis should be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he was one
Nice.
of the best linebackers I've ever seen.
There's so many good players, and
So many.
As a football fan, I don't even have a team. I just appreciate, and partially because the Rams and the Raiders left LA and I was an LA guy, but now they're back. But still, I just always appreciate watching certain players. It doesn't matter what team they're on, and it doesn't matter what side of the ball they're on. It just really always appreciate certain players. And I loved watching Ronnie Lott play. That was my that was my favorite. Him and Eric Dickerson were my offensive, defensive guys growing up.
Loved
I
Eric
just
Dickerson
love
growing up.
watching different guys at every position and appreciating from linemen to inner linemen
Man,
to
I was
tackles,
definitely
to guards, to linebackers, to safeties, to all of it.
Definitely blessed to have to play with the Jets, that organization, the start of my career. I mean, it was like you had Vinny Testaverde,
A lot of
Keyshawn
legendary
Johnson,
guys. Keyshawn was an SC
Curtis
guy and
Martin.
Dorsey High and Pally guy.
Yeah.
Played against him in high school.
Glenn, Brian Cox, Mo Lewis, Steve Atwater was on the team for a year. Yeah,
That was a tough hitting safety.
I mean, just
He knocked out a
those
lot of
guys
people.
like they molded like my whole
So that's what you
NFL
came
mindset.
up
Yeah.
with those guys.
Yeah, learning from those guys was just like the
Graduate
best thing.
school
Yeah.
of football.
Oh man, it was the best.
Yeah. Well, anything else? Any other anecdotes you want to share with us? It's amazing that you've had some time to get in here. I'm so glad. You might break the podcast with all
Oh
the
man,
followers.
I was taking notes of things that I didn't want to forget about.
Well,
so
let's talk about stuff. We got
the
plenty
first
of time.
thing I had that I had to remember to not forget was the police called like 2 weeks ago. So the kids are on spring break.
Here we go.
We're all home. So I have the kids, and I think one of the babysitters is off on vacation.
So it's just you?
Yeah, it's just me in the house with all the kids. So, we're going through a typical day. We're going inside the house, outside. We're going to play outside.
Yeah.
We're coming back inside. I'm having to send the twins, the oldest two, and time out here.
Yeah,
time
of course.
out. Time out for
Consequence,
you.
time out.
Time out for you.
That works in your house? God, I can never. It doesn't
No.
work very well. Oh, good.
Not really.
Not
No.
really good.
I mean,
we do that too. I got.
so yeah, we're just having a typical day.
Typical
and
day. All the kids are running around. I'm having a nervous
Nobody's
breakdown thinking
nobody's
about that.
really having any type of major problem. So I'm thinking
You're
it's
like,
all
I got
it's
it.
all
I'm
good.
good.
Everything's cool. So I think I had both of the twins in timeout at one point, and I was holding the baby, and I realized like, where's my other one? Where's Leah?
Somebody's missing.
Leah's missing.
Oh man.
So I started yelling Leah's name
Can't
around the
find her.
house. Can't
Nothing.
find her. Just like 20 minutes going on.
Oh God.
Now
it's a
I'm
panic.
nervous. I'm panicking.
Yeah.
I'm panicking, trying to figure out if I'm gonna call the police or not.
Right.
So I'm running. So we were inside the house and outside the house.
You're
so
looking all over.
We're playing. Yeah, I'm thinking
She
she
went
might have
outside.
slipped outside the house.
Oh,
We have a fence around the whole property,
Yeah,
but still,
yeah.
you know, you
Did
never
she get
know.
out of the gate? Did
I'm
she walk
a
around?
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking the worst.
Worse. Oh man.
Yeah, so
I would be panicked.
now she's never ever.
Have you called him on at this point, or you don't want to alarm her?
No, I'm still
Yeah.
worried.
You're trying to hold it together.
I'm holding the baby, almost in tears, trying to keep
God.
my other kids calm.
Yeah.
But trying to get them to help me. Though.
Crisis.
Yeah, I need y'all to
Red
help
alert.
me.
Red
oh
alert.
man,
Oh,
it was
it's the worst.
Oh, it was
I feel
cold
your pain.
red. Cold red.
Code red for sure. I feel your
So
pain.
yeah,
The struggle is
I go
real.
to the front, go to the back one more time. Like, F it, I gotta call the police.
This is what it's like to
Yeah,
be
I
a
gotta
parent,
call the
ladies
police.
and gentlemen. So now
I
you're
gotta call
calling
the police.
911.
I called 911 in a frantic panic.
Oh.
Like, my baby's missing. I don't know what happened. She was just here 30 minutes ago. She's not responding. She's never done this before. Like, please come help me.
I need help.
Yeah. And
Oh my
the lady
God.
was trying to keep me calm. I'm still panicking.
Of course.
I'm
How
still
can you stay calm? You're
walking
still
around looking.
So are
and-
you just within your property, or you're now walking
Still
out
on
into the
my
street
property.
down the
Still
block?
on the property
Yeah.
because the compound is closed.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You're hoping she's just
nobody's
playing.
going in or out. You
She's
know,
not responding.
Yes,
You-
no
Oh.
response. And I'm like, oh, so the lady calms me down. I'm trying to stay calm, and she's trying to ask me what the baby had on. I'm like, I don't remember what she had on. Like, stop
Clothes.
asking me that. I don't know. Like, and you know, you think about it, man. You know, it's a lot of things. You think
Could
about
be a lot
yeah.
of things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course. You're thinking the worst.
Everything's going through your head. So the police finally get there. I'm still
You
in
still
the pain.
haven't found her.
Please help me. Like, I cannot find this girl. So they have people, they have cops in the neighborhood.
That are all now
Yeah.
swarming the house.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 policemen.
Correct.
So at this point, yeah, we're all still looking. We're going in and out of the house.
Oh,
they're trying
that's
to
frightening.
talk to me, keep me calm.
You're freaked
And
out. I
so
mean, come on. That's so
At one
frightening.
point, we all end up outside.
outside
in the
the
back.
property or in the
No,
yard.
outside in the backyard.
Yeah, okay.
We all end up outside, and one of the policemen were like, okay, everybody stay here, and we're going to go back inside and look. Because we're all looking
Everywhere.
now. Yeah, so now he's got everybody outside.
And you go in with him?
No, I didn't go
Oh,
in.
he goes
I stayed in. Yeah, all just policemen only. They
All
went
the
inside.
police went in.
Like 3 or 4 of them went inside. One of them stayed outside
you to keep you
with
calm,
me,
and the
and
kids.
we kept looking around the house.
Got it.
So we go around the side.
Now you got the
nothing.
strategy. Oh my god.
Yeah,
This
so,
is so
they're
frightening. I
inside.
can't
I'm
imagine.
outside. Me and my
Oh.
baby. We follow the policemen to the cars in the front yard parked, and nothing in the car. So we're like, okay. Then all of a sudden we hear on the radio, we found her, and I'm like, oh my god,
Where was she?
We found her under my baby's bed, under his crib.
Playing is hanging out.
She was asleep.
Sleeping?
She fell asleep, and when she woke up to us screaming probably, and I think she got scared and just
And went under the
froze
bed?
up. She froze. I think she froze and didn't want to. She
didn't
heard
know what to do.
She heard the fear in my voice
Yeah,
probably,
panic.
and was like, "Nah, I'm not coming out." And she didn't come out, and
Holy
the policeman was
Jesus.
holding her, and she was just crying,
Hysterical. She doesn't
and
know
I
what's
was like, "Oh man," I was so happy.
Yeah. I mean, that's parenting 101. That's what it go. That's what it's
But that's
like.
not the
panic.
end of it. That's not
That's
the
not
end
the
of
end of it.
That's,
There's
well,
better?
that's the end of the tragedy.
But there's another chapter or another.
So I'm planning on telling my wife.
Oh, yeah,
about
you gotta
this.
let me mom know.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna tell
Were
her
you-
when she gets
was
home.
there a moment where you're like, man, maybe I won't disclose. Maybe I'll just keep this one between me and the kids, or
the
there's no
story
way.
was so classic. I mean, it's
you,
like
had to share.
this
it.
is something that
Yeah.
we're gonna
Yeah.
tell for the rest
Well,
of our
now
lives.
hopefully the whole world's gonna hear it.
So, yeah. So I'm thinking about. I'm gonna tell my wife when she comes home
This
from
is
work.
Classic.
So she comes home from work. She gets home. It's time to go to practice. No, she gets home before. She gets home after we leave.
Oh, so you didn't have a
So
chance to tell her?
I had to take the girls to practice.
Okay, so now you got to hold it in longer.
So we get to practice. I forget all about the
Got
whole
it.
incident. forgot
you're
about
in the zone.
everything.
You're track
Yeah.
coach.
We're leaving track practice, and my wife is talking to one of the moms, and my 5-year-old was like, "Mommy, we had like 5 police cars at our house today. Leah
that's-
was lost."
That's how
I'm
she
standing
finds
like-
out.
I'm standing like 5 feet away, but
And
I
you're
can
hearing
hear
it? You're
I
like,
can hear.
oh,
I'm like,
oh,
oh
no.
shit.
Oh,
Oh
no.
shoot. Let me. Yeah.
No, you could,
now I
you
have
could
to get
curse
over here.
there
And,
on
yeah.
the deal. We'd curse.
Now I have to. Yeah.
Now you got to backtrack.
Now I
and
have
reverse
to explain,
engineer the story.
Now I have to tell the story. My wife she's like, wait a minute. What happened?
Now you can't control the
I
story.
have to quit my job. I have to quit my job. She was like, I can't have this going on. Like, what? I was like, let me just,
She's retiring. That's it. She's going home.
I broke down the story, told her the whole story, and I had, So it was all the parents around, so everybody heard
Everybody
the story.
heard the James Farrior,
Yes.
Mr. Mom
Yes.
story.
Yes.
That's one of the worst, best ending stories I've
that
ever
was
heard.
great.
But one of the worst panic attack stories.
Oh, it was.
And
it
we
was
all go
brutal.
through similar things at different with kids where we're like,
Yeah.
where's the kid? Where's this? I've never had it that bad. I
I had to call the police.
I
called
haven't
the
had to call the
like,
police.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
how
hope I
bad
don't
it got
have-
for me. I
yeah.
hope that never happens to any parent.
Well, that is a hell of a story, James Farrior.
Yeah, that was the first thing.
Any
What
other
else?
good stories you can just share
What
with
else
us?
did
Let's
I
get
have
to it.
in
Now
there?
we're getting heated up.
Yeah, we talked about UVA. We talked about track. Oh, and how I'm fighting not to be that dad.
Yeah, you're
Like the
trying
one
not to
that's-
be
yeah,
hardcore.
I'm just not that. I had Leah, my baby girl. Her problems with school. She's having to go pick her up at school probably every couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You get the call from school?
Yeah, she gets kicked out of school every week.
We have a little bit of that, too.
I'm just waiting for the moment that they tell her that she's not going to be able to come back.
Oh,
Hopefully
I have that, too. That's fun.
Hopefully it
isn't
won't be the case. Hopefully she works it out. But, what else? Oh, in the school application process that we talked
painful.
about at dinner
Yeah.
one night.
It's like getting into college, but that's for kindergarten.
Yeah, for kindergarten.
Even more intense than I remember.
It's
yeah.
more intense.
Yeah, it's
It's
brutal.
more intense, I'm
Welcome
sure.
to life in L.A. That's life. You're
Man.
now in Angelino.
Yeah.
You're not in Virginia.
It's
You're not
rough.
in Houston anymore.
It's not Kansas. I'll tell you that.
L.A. is overall, it's pretty challenging. I mean, it's an unbelievable, wonderful city. But you're now in Angelino. Let's maybe end on that. What's your
Man.
take on now that you're new to L.A.? You've been here, has it been 2 years or a year and a half?
No.
Year?
It's not even a year.
Seems
It'll
like
be
you've been
a
here
year-
forever, James.
It'll be a year in May.
So what's your take being in Angelino? On this
Oh,
beautiful city of
man.
angels.
I don't know where else I would go.
You love it.
There's nowhere else to be.
But we're so happy to have you.
Great place to be. I mean, yeah, that's it.
We're
This
happy
is
to
it.
have you. Well, James Farrior, legend, toughest man on the planet, now also the kindest, gentlest father on the planet. Wow, you
Just
are a
trying
legend.
to be daddy daycare of the year. Just,
You are. You're your dad of the year,
Every-
2018 and
That's my
19,
yearly
2
goal.
years. You're going for three-peat this
Yeah.
year. So hope to see you guys at the beach this summer. Get the kids,
Yes,
get some
definitely.
dinner. Hopefully Amon isn't going to be too upset with telling that story, but I guess it's out
Oh,
there.
it's a classic. It's
All
a
right,
classic.
man. Well, I appreciate you coming on the deal. It's always great to hang.
Thanks for
and
having
we'll
me.
do it
This
again
was great.
soon. All right,
This was
thanks,
great.
James.
Thank you.
You know what? Yeah, listen. I am what I am today, 'cause I did it my way. None of y'all can say. In this life or the next one. Watch me, I'ma be the best. I am what I am today, 'cause I did it my way. None of y'all can say.
Man, thank you, James Farrior, for chopping it up with us, hanging out. It's always so much fun hanging out with James and his wife, Iman. He's also a good friend of ours. You can always find James at JamesFarrior51 on the gram. Again, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Hard to imagine how he played in the NFL and was ferocious and had, 1,412 tackles. That's a lot of hits. That's like running into a wall full speed multiple times. Anyway, you can always find us at DannyBrownLA.com or on the gram at DannyBrownLA. Thank you. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys soon. We got some great guests coming up. Josh Levine, Rebel Radio. We also have a CIA special guest who was heavy into terrorism, defense, etc. So that's going to be a really cool one. And stay tuned for more. Talk to you soon.